So let me set the stage for you all. It's Christmas 2008, and I'm just a wee lad. But Christmas was always my favorite day of the year because what kid doesn't like receiving a bunch of gifts? Coming downstairs to see all the presents under the tree, and I would always seek gifts that were a particular shape. It's always that rectangular shape, thin rectangle, because to me, this shape meant that there was a video game under the wrapping paper. On this particular Christmas, I saw two rectangles. One was for my younger brother, and one was for myself. I got Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction, a great game series that I absolutely love. Ratchet & Clank, mwah, love you. But my younger brother, he got LittleBIG Planet by Media Molecule. When I first saw that game, I wasn't entirely on board. It was rated E, and everyone knows that E10 Plus is where it's at. It looked like a game for little kids. But I was wrong. Media Molecule had created an absolute masterpiece with LittleBIG Planet. The game was an explosion of imagination and creativity, and the level creator only multiplied the replayability. I spent way too many hours playing LittleBIG Planet, whether it be playing other people's levels or creating levels of my own. But what was next for Media Molecule? Well, it was LittleBIG Planet 2, of course, you idiot! Another masterpiece, by the way. But what was about to happen after LittleBIG Planet 2? What do you got, Bozo Brain? Of course it was LittleBIG Planet 3. Not that good of a game. Between LittleBIG Planet 2 and LittleBIG Planet 3, Media Molecule released Tearaway, another really well-crafted game. But then, the developers fell silent for a little while. It wasn't until after my freshman year of college that I heard from them again. And what they showed was nothing short of stunning. Dreams. A game where you can create anything. A game where you are the developer. This was creativity and imagination in its purest form. However, it would be another year till I got my hands on the game. So now that I have it, let me answer some questions for you guys. Starting off with, what is Dreams?
One, two, three. Dream.
Dreams is basically a tool in which you can create a wide variety of media, whether it be games, music, movies, or just whatever. It features two main ways to play, dream creating and dream surfing. Dream surfing is where people such as myself go to enjoy dream creators' work at the price of totally free, minus the $40 it costs to actually buy dreams. Unfortunately, I won't be addressing or reviewing the dream creation portion of the game. When it comes to creativity, I'm sort of the opposite of that, so I don't think I can give it a fair and accurate review to that portion of the game. In this video, we'll be looking at Art's Dream, the main story of the game, created entirely using the Dreams engine, as well as dream surfing as a whole. So with that, let's take a dive into Art's Dream. So, the protagonist, Art, is a bass player who ran away from his band and friends after getting in a dispute with them. On the outside, Art seems like a very angry, selfish, and conceited individual. However, in reality, he's just filled with doubt and fear about what his friends think of him and his ability to play the bass. His goal is to not only reunite with the band, but also to defeat his self-doubt. This journey of overcoming his doubts is portrayed through his dreams. In his dreams, you take on the role of Francis, Foxy, and Debug, Art's toys from his childhood. However, Art's dreams are plagued by Thornbeak, an evil crow who personifies both doubt and fear. It is the goal of Francis, Foxy, and Debug to save Art's toy dragon, Lancewing, who is captured by Thornbeak. The story also follows Art's journey in the real world to get back together with his band. Doubt is once again personified as a blue man, stopping Art at every chance he gets. I don't want to reveal too much about the story, so I'll move on to my opinion on it. I loved it. There's so much underlying meaning to what is presented, and it's all quite moving. Lancewing, the captured dragon, is a representation of creativity and reassurance. The personification of doubt throughout the story is done in a fantastic and interesting way. It's also wonderful watching Art change from being bitter and selfish to understanding the power working as a team or as a band can really have. Occasionally I thought the topics were a little cliche, with talking about the power of teamwork and all, but it was written so well I couldn't really fault them for it. Creativity and teamwork is at the heart of what Media Molecule creates, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park with delivering that message. Artstream dabbles in a variety of different genres, and it's done quite excellently. The game constantly switches which character you play as based on the progression of the story, and when you're playing as Art himself, you'll typically be greeted by a point-and-click adventure-style gameplay. It's nothing too challenging, but it certainly is fun to interact with the environment. The game also puts you in the shoes of Francis and Foxy, which introduce a mix of platforming and some simple run-and-gun segments. Finally, there are portions where you play as Debug, which is also very platforming focused. The game gives you some good downtime with art segments and then picks up the pace again when you play as Francis and Foxy. The balancing of gameplay is well done, and I had fun playing all of it. However, it is worth mentioning that the game attempts to be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. It certainly does a good job with the genre it tackles, but it never feels like it perfects any. Because of that, Artstream can feel a little flat occasionally. Also, it's worth mentioning the runtime of Artstream is only about 2 or 3 hours. However, I don't believe time is really a measurement of quality, and what Media Molecule delivered gameplay-wise was worth what I paid for. I feel like atmosphere and music can oftentimes be overlooked in games. Music can be an absolute game changer for me. For example, with Portal, the end credit song, that was a masterpiece. Throw in an absolute banger at the end of your game, and you basically have me sold. And Dreams does just that. Take a listen. I don't know anything about music or music theory, but I do know when I like a song, and this one will definitely go down as one of my favorite songs in video games. However, not all the music in Artstream was a hit for me. Some of the gameplay in the Dream revolved around watching music videos, a part I didn't mind. However, the music was meh, okay at best. It was kind of goofy and didn't really fit the dramatic tone of the narrative. Besides the music videos though, the rest of the soundtrack slapped. It wouldn't be something I would put on and listen to on my own, but it does its job and it does it well. But now, let's move on to atmosphere. This is where I'll be talking about the art style of the game as well, because Dreams is definitely different in that department. This game feels dramatic, especially when you're playing as Art. You're typically walking around these dreary, rainy streets all alone. The game will get you in the feels for sure. When playing as Debug, some of the world is enveloped in a shade of gray, but as you progress, things become much brighter. Art finds his way back to the bright music studio, Debug brings light back to his world. By the end, the game has a tone revolving around self-confidence, and the colors, the music, and the atmosphere only add to that. Finally, the art style in the game is interesting. Probably isn't everyone's type. Art looks like a sculpture, but not necessarily in a bad way. I will say that Francis and Foxy look However, the art style in Debug's environment is well done. They did fantastic creating a futuristic look, and the character models look great. Also, the color in Debug's world, Pog Champ. So now that we've reviewed Artstream, let's look at Dreamsurfing as a whole. Dreamsurfing can be an absolute gamble when you play it. You never know whether you're going to be playing a masterpiece or a piece of garbage. But that's what I love about it. It makes finding the gems of levels all the more fun. So far I've tried a mini golf game, a reimagining of a LittleBIG Planet level, a recreation of PT. I got too scared and had to quit the game during that one, and a recreation of Fallout 4. These all played pretty well. I had a great time trying all of them. especially the Little Big Planet level. But something in the back of my mind was bothering me while I played these. I realized that none of these games would ever be as good as the real things. The recreation of Fallout 4 will never quite be on level with Fallout 4. The recreation of PT will never be what PT was. I realize the problem with Dreams is that, for Dreamsurfers, there's a high quantity of gameplay, but at the cost of quality. However, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because Dreams has a little something for everyone. It offers a level of variety that no other game can, and that has very high value. You want to play platformers? You can find some. You want to play some bullet hells? You can find them. You want to play an awful version of Minecraft? Of course you can find that. Dreams has so much to offer. It is also worth keeping in mind that the game has only been out for a little over a month. Who knows what fantastic creations will come later down the line. Dreams does something that no game has. It empowers you to make the game, to let your creativity flow, to let your imagination run wild. A Media Molecule inspires you to make your dream by showing you theirs. Art's story moved me. I felt inspired to create, to make something that will last, but what I made wasn't necessarily in Dreams. I was inspired to make this, a video. It's something I've always wanted to do, but have never felt fully equipped. And then when I would make something, I would always second guess my work. It never felt right. However, this does feel right, and I hope to keep creating content alike to this in the future. But anyway, I'm getting carried away. I love Little Big Planet. Dreams took the idea that Little Big Planet made and went hog wild with it. Media Molecule has consistently put out some of my favorite games, and I can't wait to see what they have in store next. I personally would give Dreams an 8.8 out of 10. Thanks for watching this one. This one took me a lot of time to make between editing everything together and doing the voice lines and everything. It makes me feel really accomplished. It definitely is different from the other content I've been making, but I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I would appreciate it if you all subscribed, and also just let me know your own thoughts on both the video or the game itself. Thank you so much, y'all.